Are you a believer? Do you really believe animals can talk? I want to introduce you to Sylvester because after sharing his story today, you're going to believe animals do talk. Alrighty. A few months ago, Sylvester was a topic of concern with a volunteer, and the volunteer asked if I would be willing to speak with Sylvester about certain behaviors that he had been exposed to when he gave his tours. So the volunteer and Carol Baskin, the founder of Big Cat Rescue, came out and we asked Sylvester if he was willing to talk. And Sylvester gave his approval, didn't you? Yes, you did. And he was kind of confused about why this volunteer didn't understand why he was behaving the way that he was. And it seemed like when the volunteer would give his afternoon tours, Sylvester here would approach the whole tour group, even though Sylvester loves people, and he acted like, get away from my cat-a-tat. I don't want to see you. I don't want you to be here. Get. And this was kind of upsetting to the volunteer because he loved Sylvester, couldn't think of anything that he had done, and so he was just curious about why Sylvester was acting the way that he was. When I started talking with Sylvester, Sylvester actually gave me the name of a volunteer who no longer works here that he didn't particularly care for. And both volunteers worked together at one time to clean Sylvester's cat-a-tat. And so Sylvester, every time he saw the volunteer giving the tour, he thought of this other volunteer that he didn't really care for. Animals are like us. They have their favorite people who they like and who they don't like. And Sylvester just didn't care for this one volunteer, did you? No. So I went back and told this volunteer exactly what Sylvester said, and he said, do you think he'll talk with me? And I said, sure. Just go over and ask Sylvester if he's ready to talk, because that's one of the things when we start talking with animals that we want to do. We always want to ask them permission to talk, don't we? Yes, because that's kind of rude if we don't. I don't appreciate people coming up to me and start talking without asking, hey, is this a good time to talk with you? So the volunteer went over there and asked Sylvester, Sylvester, do you want to talk? Sylvester, and this was audible, Carol heard it, the volunteer heard it, I heard it, said, yeah. The volunteer fell to the ground. He said, I'm a believer, and after we talked with Sylvester, Sylvester has never, ever exhibited that behavior again. Now when the volunteer comes and gives the tours, Sylvester comes right out and greets him and everything, and the volunteer is definitely a believer. So the next time you wonder if animals really talk, come out here to Big Cat Rescue. There's always surprises every time you come out here, and start talking with the cats. So from Sylvester and all of the volunteers here, all of the big cats at Big Cat Rescue, this is Lluellyn-Lassiter saying thank you. Now that you believe, start talking with the cats. Have a great week. Thank you, Sylvester.